Okay, last year or maybe year before I did a video on propagating tomatoes from cuttings or cloning tomatoes, and I think it's important enough to do it again in case you missed that one. You want to find tomatoes, most of you probably know this, but tomatoes in the, I'm going to call that the crotch of the plant. That's what I've heard that called before. You got the stem, the main stem, and you got some outshooting here, and then in that V, that is a sucker. A lot of people cut those suckers out, and maybe you should, to boost your tomato production. I don't usually, but that is the place you want to cut out to propagate your tomatoes for to make new tomato plants, fall tomato plants. Why do I think that's important? Well, to me, fall is one of the better gardens. You know, right now, it depends on where you live, but right now it's 93, 95, fixing to be 100 degrees, and we're out here picking stuff. If you can plant a fall garden, then you're picking that garden when it's 80 or 85 degrees or 75 degrees. So it's a whole lot, the harvesting is a whole lot better. Anyway, that was a sucker. I'm looking for another one here, and we'll try to show you another one, and then I'll show you how I put them in the pots. Here's another right there. Okay, and we'll cut that one out, and I'll pick it up, and we'll plant that. I've got a few in a bucket here, and anyway, these in the what I'm again calling the crotch of the plant. This right here, get my camera right. This right here is the main stem up. This is an offshoot or a limb or a stem or whatever. That's going to be your sucker. And you can plant that one right there. It's a little small. I'm trying to find larger ones. Sometimes they're not as easy to find, but you can certainly take that one off. I'll throw it in a bucket just in case I don't have enough. I see one on the other side. Let me go around and get him. And this is my tomato rows I have showed you before. They're about 5 feet tall now, and those are my those are my watermelon beefsteak. I will be cloning some of those too. Those are good looking plants. Here's a good sucker right there. Okay, see it? It's in right there. The sucker comes up right in the middle. So typically I'm going to grab that with one hand, but I can't do it, so I'll cut it, grab it, and we're going to plant that. I'll show you how. Okay, here I have them. I've already made my cuttings of the suckers, and I'm just going to trim off any leaves that I don't think we need, like that one and that one. I want to get them down to the bottom of those solo cups if at all possible, because it's going to root, those little hairs right there, it's going to root all the way up and down that. So I believe that's the way I'm going to leave that one. What I normally do is just poke a hole. I'm not going to put any rooting harm on these because tomatoes just root so easily. And put it down in there and just kind of shake it and let the dirt settle around the cutting. Again, just cut off any extraneous leaves. You got a couple of bloom heads right there about to form, so I'm going to cut those off. We don't want it blooming, we want it rooting. So make a hole, down in the hole, shake it together. Now, what I'm going to do next is water these in real good, and I'm going to put them on the a misting system that I have for some grape cuttings and blackberry cuttings, and it comes on about every 4 hours for about 15 minutes at 4, 12, 4, 8, 12, and 4, 8, 12, 4, 8, 12, I guess it is. So and it'll keep not only will it keep the soil moist, but it'll keep these tops moist, and I think that's important too, keep them from drying out. But they'll start rooting pretty quick. The reason I've chosen these clear solo cups, when I planted last spring, a few months ago, I found that I got a better plant. It seemed like to me, and I did the red solo cup, blue solo cup, and the clear, and it seemed like I got a better root system out of the clear. So, you know, you might want to try a little bit of both. The blue, I've got this 18 pack here that had cups in it, I think 3-inch cups in it, and these the solo cups, I can't get 18 in there, they're too fat. So I get these, just barely do squeeze in there, and you can see they're not even, they're kind of smushed together, but I can get 18 of them in there, which is important as I put them in the, I want to be able to set this whole tray down in my misting system instead of little cups, because they'll get knocked over, the wind and knock them over, whatever. So it's kind of important for me to put it in this 18 pack flat, which you can see. So anyway, I'm going to root the rest of these. Some of them are pretty good size cuttings, and they start to wilt pretty quick after you put them or cut them off the plant rather. And another little blooms forming. Don't want that. Cut them off. Again, get them as deep as you can. You want them rooting all the way up. And then I'll show you, after I get them potted up, I'll show you that. Okay, that's the 2 trays I've done. I'll do, those are all Celebrity. I'll do one more tray of probably half of the beefsteak. Half of it will be beefsteak and half will be the Rutgers. I don't know, I kind of like the beefsteak. I may do all beefsteak. But anyway, these are under the misters. I think you can see the misters on. I just turned them on manually for about 30 minutes to soak these new plants because they look a little sad, but I think they'll perk up. Now last year when I showed doing this, or year before, whenever the video was, I did it in water. I put the tomatoes in water and rooted them like that, and then put them, transferred them to the pots. LDS Prepper puts his straight in the garden, but he has to water 3 or 4 times a day, and I don't really want to do that, you know, until they get established. And or it seemed like that's what he said, and I don't want to do that. And this area, it's got a timer on these misters, and it's going to water again every 4 hours. So I won't have to. I just put them in cups. Didn't take very long to do. Put them in cups, and with the clear cups, one thing about it, you can see the roots as they begin to really root. You can see how well the root system is, and determine when you need to stick them in the ground. Anyway, this is just some of the things I have. I don't have them in my under my misting system that I built for propagation. This is just something I've got for the plants that are in cups, not propagating, but in cups, in pots that will be planted next year. Blackberries, grapes, but these are being propagated. These are the new ones. So anyway, if you're thinking about a fall garden, first of all, if you're not, you should be, and secondly, realize up north, y'all not very far along with your gardens, but if a fall garden for those of us in southern climates, we have 2 gardening seasons, and take advantage of it, because the second one, the fall garden in Texas, or probably anywhere along the Gulf Coast, Gulf states, would do real well. Maybe Oklahoma, Kansas, up in there. I think a fall garden would serve you well. So think about it, and if you do, think about if you've got some tomatoes now, probably not too early. If they're pretty good size, to go ahead and start cloning some and make you some plants. Anytime you can get free plants, do it. I'm gonna probably sell most of these. I'll plant a few, but I'm gonna sell. I'll probably sell the plants. I'll put a sign up on the road and sell some of the plants, and we'll see how they go. What doesn't sell, I'll stick in the ground, no big deal. By that time, maybe my tomato crop over there will have dissipated somewhat, and I'll be ready to put these in the ground. Okay, it's been about a month now. I've did the first part of the video planting or doing the cloning or propagating, whatever you want to call it, on I think June 26th or something like that, and it's the 24th, I believe. So they've been in the solo cups, and that's what I did. We just put them in the solo cups in the little trays here under my on that where that misting system is, where I've got other propagating things, and it mists about every 4 hours for 15 minutes. Anyway, they did real well. I did 36 to 18 pack flats. I've already planted a bunch of them. There's one that didn't make it, another one that didn't make it. So out of 36, I got 34, and that's not bad. Most of them have an excellent root system. So I'm giving a few of them away to kinfolk that want to do a fall garden. I've got 18 of them in the ground, and I'll show you those. These are the tomatoes that I've already planted. These are in my raised bed garden, and I've got 3 in each of these tubs, and the tubs are about 4 feet long. I've showed them to you numerous occasions before. And what I've done, I had, you might can see here, this is a 3/8 rebar that I use to tie for my Florida weave, I believe they call it, to tie my tomatoes. There's another one over there with some remnants of the string on them, and I just use the baling string. But I planted 18. I've got, like I say, a bunch more to go, but I believe I'm going to give the rest of them away. 18 is probably going to be enough. I had 140, 50 tomatoes here, 39 tomatoes in each row, in 1, 2, 3 rows, and then I left those that I have in cages. I did in Florida weave those. Those are in cages, concrete wire cages. And if you don't know how to make those, I ought to show you how to do that. That's the best tomato cage there is. They're just they're bulky. You know, after you get through with them, what do you do with them? But anyway, I left those. Those are Rutgers, and on the end is a watermelon beefsteak. Not really impressed with the watermelon beefsteak. Still have some tomatoes on the Rutgers. I'm going to start back watering these a little bit better, taking a little bit better care of them. Now that I've got these 18 in the ground, I'll probably come in here and just maybe plant just this first row here, a row of tubs, and I'll probably put some maybe some different kinds of peppers. I've got some peppers here on this row, and I need to stake those bad. They are falling over, and that, look at those cayennes. Holy moly, lots of good old cayennes. Hope they don't hurt me. Hope they're not too hot. So this is, again, if you're in a climate that gives you an extended growing season, highly recommend a fall garden. These are the clone tomatoes, propagated tomatoes. You can start that right now, probably not too early, too late, and clone your own tomatoes. And I think this would be a good way to get some free plants. I know it's a heck of a way to get free plants. Look at that. That is a Marconi, sweet Marconi red. And those are real good. It's kind of a bell pepper type tasting, cross between a bell pepper and maybe a sweet banana pepper, something like that. Not hot at all, but very good. The skin is real thick. A lot of flesh, I guess you call it. Tomatoes. That's what I've done. I may plant 3 more. I don't know. I just I hadn't decided. I may put a few more in the ground. And but anyway, so far they look good. They need a drink. I'm gonna give them a drink. And I believe I have shown you everything I know about this. We're gone.